Good evening, gentlemen, and welcome to the first ever mid-season report card and Week 7 review. Now, I thought I'd just shake it up a little bit. First of all, I just got to say it's been a great fantasy football season. A lot of back and forth going on between everybody. Notably, I'd like to, first of all, say a nice big thank you to Dave for last week's review. I wanted to do something special this week, so I kind of saved up all my energy. Few of the lines I've been working on, but thank you for doing the review, last week, especially because, you set up the league and, you worked with everyone I remember up at the island, to get this great new auction draft. That was a big hit this year. You collected all the money and, you bought an awesome trophy for the entire league, that goes to the Super Bowl champion. Oh, wait, you didn't do that. I did that, asshole. So guess what? Next time you have some comments about it, put it in the comments section, all right? And leave the fucking reviews to me. I'm the freaking commissioner of this league, and don't you freaking forget it, all right? So, just shut the fuck up. Anyway, let's get to, briefly, last week's games. There were a lot of them going on, some very tight ones down the stretch. So let's see. First of all, we'll start off with myself and Dodge. Now, Dodge, I know I didn't see you this weekend, but all I got to say is thank you for the birthday present and only putting up 48 points to my 103. Now, I realize that once again, Aaron Rodgers, the man, who I definitely overpaid for in the draft, has just come up as the best player in the league, no doubt. The only thing that's going to stop him is if he gets a broken leg. Knock on wood. So, and Dodge, I do understand you were going through a total bye week hell, but I mean, shit happens. So, sorry about that, buddy. Next, we come to our closest game of the week, which went right down to the end on Monday Night Football, and that was Matt versus Brett, with Matt eking out a win 116 to 115. Apparently, Tim Tebow's starting debut was just not enough for Brett to overcome Matt's once again lucky defense. Buddy, you are relying way too much on these defenses to get you through games. That's all I have to say. However, you can't really fault you too much going, now you have a record of 5-2. Brett, I really feel bad for you because in my other league, I also have Greg Olsen. And he once again put up 1 point this week, You figure with a guy like Cam Newton, who's been just putting up some great points, I kind of feel like Greg Olsen is the white guy in a pickup game with ballers, Cam Newton, all he wants to do is score on his own, and, the only time the big white guy gets the ball is when he gets a rebound, So, I feel for you, buddy. Next, we come to Benson and our good friend Dave, who once again somehow eked out another victory, only scoring 109 points to Benson's 99. Dave, I swear to God you've put some sort of voodoo on this league because you have the worst points against in this, or the best, I guess, best points against. Because apparently whenever we play you, you just decide to, their team decides to just take a dump. So, I mean, you're vulnerable again. Benton, all you had to do was start Mark Sanchez over Joe Flacco, and you definitely would have taken it. I mean, I don't even know what to say at this point with Dave sitting at top 6-1, other than fuck you, Dave. So, anyway, let's move on. Next, we come to JJ versus Nick, and JJ beats Nick 109 to 83. Another solid week for JJ. Nothing spectacular. Put up, a solid number of points. It was kind of another bye week suffering for Nick, but I really think that the problem with his team altogether is just no solid QB. I mean, not everyone can have, the best one in the league like I have, but, you just got to maybe try to pick up someone better for you. Vince against the team of Ben and Grant went to Vince, 151 to 107. Once again, they had Vince's big name players came through for him, which is what he had to get. Going into the draft, he spent a lot of money early. He came up with some big guys like Drew Brees and Jennings, but they combined for 70 points alone this week. I mean, that's nothing to scoff at. I mean, I've kind of got the same thing going for me where it's kind of big or bust. So it's even though Vince is sitting at 3-4, I still think that he's got a pretty solid team and he can make a run at it. This week for Team Boltsow, it was just a bust with Ryan Terrain and Washington. I mean, let's face it, he was supposed to get a majority of carries. He was supposed to, probably put up at least, 80 yards and a touchdown or something. But I mean, he was just a complete bust. At this point, I don't see how anyone takes any of the Washington Redskins players because they are just god awful. Our final game of the week was JV versus the Navarros in their new name, the Shadynasties, or should I say the Shady Nasties, which great new team name. Over Raplesberger was topical for a while, but it was time for a change. And with that good move came a victory of 121 to 109. The major thing that won this game for the Navarro brothers was picking up DeMarco Murray on Thursday. Talk about a freaking pickup. Putting up over 30 points and sealing the victory for them. That is just one of the biggest pickup moves I've ever seen, where you get a guy on Thursday who I've never even heard of him, to be honest with you. I bet no one else did either. So, huge pickup, and he just got a nice win over JV's not so great team. Now, again, you score 109, which is more than me, but sometimes the magic just doesn't work out. So, with that, I would like to bring us to our mid-season report card and playoff preview. Now, the playoff preview is important because this year, as you may have already known, we are getting something very special, which I hope will be a nice tradition to carry on into the future. And that, my friends, is the brand new Mikowski Cup trophy. Now, this trophy is going to be filled for the Super Bowl champion with their $100 winnings. So, the end of the season, this is something you can look forward to. Hoping maybe this will take off. Guys will maybe engrave their names on it or something, with something to play for. And plus, you are required to drink out of it if you do become the Super Bowl champion. That's why I got the cup. So, this fucker's huge. So, that's something to look forward to for you. Now, coming down to our breakdown of the season so far, we have to start at the top. And unfortunately, that means I have to start with Dave's team and then the hate. By the way, Dave, hate refers to a Dave Chappelle reference on Chappelle's show about some pimps and being hateful of each other, not the fucking Emperor for Star Wars. Once again, way to get your pop culture references all fucked up. But there you sit on top with only one loss. You did. The one thing I will give you is that Ahmad Bradshaw trade seems to be working out for you because you were extremely weak at running back, and that's going to work out. And Cam Newton has just come out of nowhere, and he's had a very lucky rookie season. Let's see how far that can go, but unfortunately, since you are already at 6 wins, I do have to predict that you will make the playoffs this year. Matt is sitting number 2 at 5-2. It's not a coincidence that his name is the East Dillon Lions and that the Detroit Lions are doing so well. And part of that is because of Matt Stafford. I mean, that was a big pickup. You got him for pretty cheap during the draft, so that is looking good. And also, Matt Forte, Mike Wallace, those guys are probably going to continue to be solid all season long. So I would continue to pick Matt. You too, I also predict to make the playoffs in our 8-team system. Next up is the Navarros, the Shady Nasty. These guys are completely running back heavy, and this seems to have worked in years past, where they have Darren Sproles, Ray Rice, and they do have Phillip Rivers, who is usually a November, December quarterback. So there's a lot of upside for it. However, I just don't see the rest of the team being all that competitive. So I'll be honest with you, even though you're sitting at 4-3 and currently in 3rd place, I think you might be vying for the last spot in the playoffs. I guess you guys got to just prove me wrong. So, in 4th place is myself, sitting at 4-3. Like I said before, unless Aaron Rodgers has an aneurysm or Wes Welker breaks his leg or something, I don't foresee my team losing that many more. I'm not saying I'm going to be at the top of this league, but I am predicting that I will be in the playoffs. Benton is sitting at number 5. Now, Benton is a team that is, you just never know what to get out of him. I think that he, with having Fred Jackson, LaShawn McCoy, another running back heavy team, they can definitely put something up. I definitely think Benton will make the playoffs. Not quite sure where. He is kind of streaky at times, so we'll see what happens with him. Sitting at number 6 is Dodge at 4-3. Once again, he's got a very strong quarterback, Tom Brady. I think you could make it, but I also think you will be one of the guys that are kind of sitting, you may or may not make the playoffs. Basically because your second best scorer is the Jets D. And you can't have your D be the second best player on your team. So, once again, I'm not sure you're going to make the playoffs. You're kind of in my iffy spot, okay? Vince, sitting at number 7 at 3-4. Once again, like I said, he's got three of the biggest players in the league. He's got Drew Brees, who put up some solid numbers this past week, Greg Jennings, and also I think the best tight end in the game right now, which is Jimmy Graham. Now, Vince, again, I think you will make the playoffs just because of these big name guys. You can get some favorable matchups and everything. Good luck next week with having you're in the same boat I am with the Packers having a bye week, so that's going to really suck. But I think that Vince is going to make the playoffs, even though he's sitting at 3-4. He still has a pretty solid team. We come to JJ at number 8, also at 3-4. I'm picking JJ to make the playoffs. He has come from out of nowhere. He had an 0-4 start, he's won the last 3, and he's just rising up. He's got Steve Smith. If Javad Best gets better and Tony Romo has a little bit of a good run down the stretch, I definitely think that this can be a strong team, and JJ can definitely make the playoffs. We come to the bottom 4 now, who are currently sitting outside the playoffs. The next 2 I mentioned are definitely in the hunt. JB sitting at 3-4. You can't count on a team that has AP, and I guess you also can't do that with Ryan Matthews because he's been having a great year too. You got Roethlisberger sitting there again. He seems to play better in the cold weather, which is going to be coming up. So we'll see what happens with him. You're kind of on my iffy, list for making the playoffs as it stands. Your team is just, it's really boom or bust with you guys. So we'll see what happens there. And then there's Nick, also sitting at 3-4, in 10th place. I too think you can make the playoffs. However, like I said, you don't have a very strong quarter. I mean, you got Mike Vick, but man, he's been getting hurt a lot lately. And let's face it, the rest, they don't like black quarterbacks, so they're not looking out for him. Darren McFadden, your other big player. You never know what's going to happen in Oakland, but they seem to be, hot or cold. I guess they're too bad their owner can't die every week. So then we come to the bottom 2, which I predict are completely out of the playoff hunt. First of all, we have at 2-5, Ben and Grant. Matt Schaub, your number 1 player. Unfortunately, with Andre Johnson going down and Houston just not being as consistent of a team as you'd like them to be, I don't see you guys going anywhere. Roddy White and I think you have Tony Gonzalez as well for Atlanta. Matt Ryan took a big hit last week, so you just don't know who might be throwing to him in the next few weeks. If I think it was an ankle injury, is going to keep him out or not, who knows. So I just don't see a lot of upside for this team. And then we come to the very, very bottom, which is Mr. Brett Bolter. Now, you may have been the winner of the weight loss pool. You might do it again. I'm coming for you this year. But sitting at 1-6, gosh, 6 losses already. I don't see it happening, barring a miracle. One guy you got on your team that could make it a miracle is Megatron, Calvin Johnson, who's had an outstanding year because the Lions have finally put everything together, but not seeing it. So, just to recap, here are I have 6 teams who I say are definitely going to be in, and 4 teams who are on the bubble. The 6 teams that are in are Dave, Matt, myself, Benton, Vince, and JJ. And the 4 teams I'm putting on the bubble right now are the Navarro brothers, Dodge, JB, and Nick. So there you have it, guys. That's my first ever video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please comment on it. I don't give a shit if you thought it was lame or something, but I thought I'd do something a little bit different. So I got another text now, so I got to get going. But best of luck the rest of the season. I hope to hang out with you guys pretty soon, and talk to y'all later.